بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. So we go to the next hadith in the chapter of marriage. And this part talks about kafa'a, means equality between the husband and the wife in certain things. There are certain things there's no question about, such as for a Muslim woman, the groom has to be equal to her in religion. He has to be a Muslim. There's no other way around this. Also, there has to be equality with regards to righteousness to some degree. Normally, a groom that is more righteous, keeping the commandments of Allah, is more acceptable than one who is not like that. And so the righteous one, إِذَا جَاءَكُم مَّن تَرْضَوْنَ دِينَهُ وَخُلُقَهُ. If a man comes to you and you are pleased with his deen, his piety, and khuluq, his conduct, فَزَوُّجُوهُ, accept him. If he is fasiq means somebody who is a habitual sinner, he doesn't care. He's a Muslim, but he's a habitual sinner. That one, better not to accept him in marriage. Some people may say, okay, my daughter is now like almost 40 years old and she has never gotten married. He may accept somebody who is deficient in his deen. That does not make the marriage haram. The marriage is valid, unless this person has one of two problems. What could be the problems? He's a Muslim. What could be the two sins that he is committing that would render this marriage invalid? Zina. Bravo. Zina would make it invalid, because a fornicator can only marry a fornicator. He cannot marry a chaste woman. The second thing is if he does not pray. Because if he does not pray, does not keep his prayers, he totally neglects the prayer, totally, does not pray at all, then there's a chance that he's not a Muslim. He might be calling himself a Muslim, but there's a very strong chance based on very strong ahadith that he's not a Muslim. So better in that situation not to give him your daughter in marriage.
So what about someone committing something haram and thinking it's right to do?
We talked about this yesterday. If it has to be some kind of hidden haram, like if it is something that is obvious, he has no excuse.
Yeah.
Somebody cannot be drinking alcohol and say, I didn't know it was haram.
Yeah.
Even the kuffar know it is haram for Muslims. He cannot be eating pork and say, I didn't know it was haram. Because the kuffar know that Muslims do not eat pork. You follow? But he might be some kind of haram that is controversial or is not known to everybody. Maybe. Then of course we said if he's a fasiq, they can still marry, unless he's a fornicator or somebody who does not pray at all, not even the Friday prayer. Okay? Tariq as-salah completely. That person has a very strong chance he's not a Muslim actually. Okay? But if he is lower in status, you're from a very high esteemed family and he's from a very poor family, that does not create a barrier if it is acceptable to you. Okay? Some people say, no, I don't want this, but that's your choice. But Islamically, it should not be a problem. There's a hadith here, we will read it, on Fatima bint Qais radiallahu anha. Fatima was from a very high family in Quraysh. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam قال لها أنكح أسامة, marry Usama ibn Zayd. Usama, his father Zayd was originally in Jahiliyyah, he was a slave. Okay, and the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam adopted his son. I think his son, Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam adopted him. Adopted Zayd himself, adopted him, he freed him and he adopted him. Okay, Usama is his son. So his origins indicate that at one point his father was a slave, but this woman was from a very high rich family and high lineage. Still, Prophet ﷺ to show that this does not make any difference in Islam, he told her, Ankihi Usama. Basically, it's like a command. You marry Usama. If Prophet ﷺ said this to any woman, Islamically she cannot say no. النبي أولى بالمؤمنين من أنفسهم. Prophet ﷺ has more right over each one Muslim than himself. Okay? And his command supersedes even her own wali. Even her own wali. Okay? That's very important. انكحي أسامة. Also, النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال يا بني بياضة أنكحوا أبا هند أنكحوا أبا هند وأنكحوا إليه وكان حجاما. So the first hadith shows if there's a difference in family status, that does not make a difference in Islam. The second hadith shows that if there's a difference in the kind of trade or profession, also that does not make a difference in Islam. Okay? So this next hadith, Prophet ﷺ said, narrated by Abu Hurairah, Prophet ﷺ said, O sons of Bayada, marry to Abu Hind, someone of your women, and marry from his women, his daughters, even though he was a copper. Al-Hajjam, this kind of profession or trade, or this kind of profession or skill at the time, this kind of profession was not a highly esteemed profession. Yani. The person who does the cupping, but it wasn't like today. They used to suck the blood with their, like this, to bloodletting, hijama. They used to suck it. It was not considered a very nice profession. Okay? But Prophet ﷺ, obviously some people felt maybe that they didn't want to give him somebody in marriage or marry from his family. So Prophet ﷺ corrected that by saying, no, if he goes to engage somebody or ask for somebody in marriage, accept him. Obviously he's a good man. And also his family are good people. So people should marry also from his daughters or his sisters or his family in general. Okay? So this is important to show that these differences, whether in profession or in family, make no difference in Islam whatsoever. There's a hadith, I'll read this hadith to you. لا فضل لعربي على عجمي ولا لعجمي على عربي كلهم لآدم وآدم من تراب. It says an Arab is no better than a non-Arab, and a non-Arab is no better than an Arab. They're all equal. It says كلهم لآدم. They're all sons of Adam, and Adam was created from turab, which is earth. Okay. Also, there's another hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ says, "Man batta bihi amaluh lam yusri' bihi nasabu." He says, whoever is batta means slowed down. Whoever is slowed down by his deeds, his lineage will not take him forward or will not bring him forward. So basically, inna akramakum, according to the ayah, inna akramakum indallah atqakum. The best of you in the sight of Allah is based on piety and righteousness, not by lineage. And even if that lineage relates to Prophet ﷺ. Because we know that from the family of the Prophet ﷺ, they were kuffar. Abu Lahab, his uncle. We read this in Salah, Tabbat yada abi lahab wa tab. Him and his wife. Sayasla naran sah, that lahab. Abu Talib, his uncle as well, and he was a very dear uncle to him, very dear. He's the one who raised him, protected him from Quraysh, from killing him and everything, right? He treated him better than his own sons. We used to bring him closer to him because he felt he was a unique child, correct? But still, unfortunately, he died a non-Muslim. So still, he was not allowed even to make istighfar for him. He cannot ask Allah forgiveness for him. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, out of his favor on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, lightened the punishment of Abu Talib a little bit, but did not change the whole status. Is he in fire forever? In fire forever. Cannot come out of the fire of hell ever. But he says, في ضحضاح من النار. He is in a shallow part of the fire of hell. نعلين من نار. He's wearing like shoes made out of fire. يغلي منهما دماغه. Because of these shoes of fire, or at the shallow level of fire, his brain is boiling. Subhanallah, may Allah save us. He says, now, He says, and that is because of Allah's favor on me. But eventually, this cannot change. Ibrahim alayhi salam, his own father, as well. And there's a hadith on this matter. He came even on the Day of Judgment saying, yani, this is such a disgrace to me. Yani, one of the mightiest prophets, that my father is going to fire of hell. The verdict did not change for Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. So anybody who claims to be a descendant of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he has to show his deeds. The bloodline makes no difference. Nuh alayhi salam, when his son was drowned, قال رب إن ابني من أهلي. He's from my أهل, from أهل البيت of Nuh. وإن وعدك الحق وأنت أحكم الحاكمين. قال يا نوح إنه ليس من أهلك. Oh Nuh, he is not part of your family. That blood connection has no weight whatsoever when it comes to total severing of the deen, of the religion ties. Okay? إنه عمل غير صالح. نعم. So this concludes this part of the kafa'a. The next part talks about choice. And I'll just give an introduction, then we'll read the hadith next time. But normally when you do any kind of contract in Islam, if you're doing any trading contract, for instance, material trading contract, you have the choice of majlis. While we're still sitting, I give you this item and you gave me the money. But we have not departed yet from each other. I still have the choice to give you back your item and take my money back. And you cannot refuse this. This is called khiyar al-majlis. The choice of the meeting or the setting. We're still in the same setting. Even if this was done over the phone, we are still on the phone. You cannot say no after everything was done. Even if I transferred the money to your account and you've transferred something to me and we're still on the phone, I can say no, I don't want it, we reverse it. Okay? But when it comes to marriage, although it's a contract, but it has a special status, once ijab and qabul are made, the proposition is made and the acceptance is made in the presence of the witnesses and all the conditions are fulfilled, this khiyar, and we're still sitting together, we cannot go back. It is done. We cannot go back except if there's a talaq, or after marriage, it appears there's something called khiyar al-aib, the option of cancelling the marriage because of some kind of deception that happened. Okay, some kind.
It's possible if there is deception.
Absolutely, that's what we will be talking about. But what is not allowed is khiyar al-majlis. Khiyar al-majlis allows you to cancel the contract even if there's no deception. You just change your mind. This is not allowed in marriage. For actually, they say two reasons. Number one, marriage contracts are not done just like any other contract. There's so many preparations and introductions and asking on this side and asking on the other side and investigation from both sides. It doesn't happen that quickly. So by the time you come to this setting, everything has been totally discussed and reviewed. Okay? And number two, if it was allowed, then it will be, it might raise questions about the wife or the husband, that there's a problem with them. You follow? Imagine the contract is done and before they go home, now it's gone. So this may raise lots of questions about the integrity of the man or the integrity of the woman. And that is why Islam does not allow khiyar al-majlis when it comes to the marriage contract. It allows a different kind of option to cancel it or divorce if deception has happened in some way. Okay? He told them something or she told him something, and when they got together he found something totally different. Okay, and that we'll talk about next time, inshallah.